Old and in the way, sisters. Laugh and learn with me, Janet.
And me, Nancy. The Bitchin' Sisters.
We're growing old in a new world with skyrocketing costs, crazy fashions, changing norms, and with limited time left.
Don't say that. Yes. We'll entertain you and inform you as long as we can.
You're sounding desperate.
Let's look back at how it was and ahead to what's coming.
You asked a question, Nancy.
What was it?
Do I feel safe? You were reminiscing about how when we were children, we would roam all over the neighborhood for hours on end.
Oh, yeah.
Without the scrutiny of our parents, no cell phones. Heck, they were happy that we weren't underfoot. They were glad we were outside.
And we were in the woods.
We had full run of the neighborhood. We climbed walls, trespassed in the nearby woods, jumped from roof to hillside. We were a wild bunch, and it was usually boys chase the girls. I have no idea if the boys ever caught us, but I never thought about whether I was safe. But once, I remember one time, I was waiting for a ride home from my parents after Sunday school, and a man pulled up in a car and said, "Girlie, do you want some candy?"
Really?
Well, was he stupid? It was the one phrase I'd been warned about. No way. So I ran, and then he drove away, and then Daddy came and picked me up. And that's the only time I can remember as a child of being
close
to
being unsafe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another time I was walking through the woods to school. Believe it or not.
Oh, is your name Goldilocks?
Yeah, right. Believe it or not, in the early 1950s, on Long Island, in the little town of Northport, there were several wooded areas, little woods. And a guy, a kid, a man, I don't know, he seemed to be urinating and looking at me out there in the woods. Yes, looking at me. Peeing, I thought. I'd seen that a million times from my two younger brothers, so I wasn't all that interested. I zipped by quickly. I thought he must have felt embarrassed. Now that I'm thinking that he was exposing himself to me, and I failed to respond, that must have really hurt him. Good. But I didn't feel unsafe. And then when I was a teenager, I don't know, I still never had a moment when I didn't feel safe. The boys who dated me knew that our father would murder them.
Oh, yes.
If they violated me.
Even at my high school reunions, they brought it up.
Oh,
Your
no.
father was always swinging the golf clubs when we came around.
I can't believe that. Yeah. I don't know. I was just naive. I was quite unaware that I might get raped or worse. Girls got into trouble.
Well, and we lived near...
They didn't get raped.
We lived near Camp McCoy at the time, and we were always told to never date a soldier.
Right. Well, so really, I guess I had never felt unsafe. I live in the country, as you do. Do you lock your door?
Yeah, we do.
We don't lock our door. We don't lock our car door. If someone strange knocks on my door at night, I'm afraid, but I answer it. And in the 42 years that I've been here, it's always been someone who is okay. Maybe their car broke down.
Yeah.
Maybe they lived here once for one bitter winter. Nobody lived here longer than one winter till I moved here. Usually it's someone we know. But most of the time nobody knocks. I don't have to be afraid. And once a bear was on the kitchen deck.
What?
And I was afraid. I was afraid it might come inside.
Sure.
Like I'd seen in movies. I don't know how it would get in here, but I was afraid it would come inside. So I ran upstairs and I called my husband. What use are husbands if they're not at home when the bear comes, I thought. But the bear ran away. Okay. And then here's another time. I was out in the yard, barefoot, when I stepped on a snake with my bare foot.
Ooh.
Instantly, I knew what it was. This is part of being a human. You know when you step on a snake. I screamed and screamed, and my two young grandsons came and captured the snake and held it up admiringly to let it go. I'll admit, I didn't feel safe for that one instant. And I know I'm joking because I live in paradise and my life is magical. Can you imagine living in a place where you would have to lock your door not only at night, but every time you entered or exited
No.
your home?
No.
Can you imagine sending Jesse to school and worrying that something will happen to him?
No.
Yeah. How do you live with that? Do these people feel safe, or is it just this is the way life is?
Well, feeling safe it's just an idea.
Yeah. Well, now I'm married to a man who was brought up as a Jew. He's an atheist, but he looks Jewish. He's a wonderful person who has, among other things, been a volunteer EMT for 37 years on the ambulance squad. But only now, I fear that his ethnic appearance could make him the object of racist hatred. So I do not feel safe about that for the very first time. We come to you twice a month with new episodes. Some are funny, some are serious, some are just our crazy opinions. I hope you enjoyed our show.
Me too. It's been a pleasure.
Music by Hall and Sidnor.
Go away, don't bother me. I'm tired of your insanity. There ain't no great conspiracy. Well, you think if you shout it out loud and long, everybody's gonna wanna sing your song. You can fool some people sometimes, but you don't fool me. Sitting at your desktop late at night, just scrolling and trolling all those alt-right sites with Rush Limbaugh and the Pillow Guy. You're anti-science, anti-vaccine, think that's just a government scheme, and RFK Jr. never really died. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Do people really buy into what you're saying? Are they really that dumb, or are you just playing? You can't believe this stuff is real. Somebody better turn on down the dial. Liberal, cannibal, pedophile. And there ain't no stop to steal. You're MVP of the Super Bowl. You're drinking purple way down a rabbit hole with a side of hydrochloroquine. Paramilitary white power man, you're just another version of the Ku Klux Klan. Figuring how they rigged all the vote machines. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Don't bother me, I'm tired of your insanity. There ain't no great conspiracy. Yeah, you think if you shout it out loud and long, everybody's gonna want to sing your song. You can fool some people sometimes, but you don't fool me. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble. Maybe the trouble is we're all living in a bubble.